Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this episode of the Dan Dawson Show. So, before I start off another show of the ridiculous shrews from The View, I want you to know tonight I'm watching The Harder They Fall. This is a movie about actual Black historical cowboys. My favorite, lawman Bass Reeves, the most prolific lawman in history, the Lone Ranger was based off of. Will be on. I'm going to watch it tonight. I will be giving a review tomorrow. It's kind of a long video because these hands never stop talking. So let's go ahead and go. And I always say these are the most over-emotional, uninformed people I know. They're not uninformed. They're intentionally lying. And they're lying to start a race war. That's what they want. Because the more stuff like this is in the news, the more they can put black against white and keep you sold on the narrative, the more views they get. The more views they get, the more money they make. Check it out.
Kyle Rittenhouse trial, when he broke down while describing how he was just acting in self-defense.
Look at her face. Look at her face. The faces she's making, which honestly, she's had so many Twinkies and hoes. I'm surprised she can actually get her face to move. I think it's Botox gone wrong, but hey, I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm just speculating.
When he brandished an AR-15 style rifle at a black...
It's not brandishing, it's called open carry. Look it up. Miss Karen Johnson, look it up.
Black Lives Matter protests before shooting 3 people and killing 2 of them.
See, I know the show on MSNBC that they watched because that's what they said too, right? But only one person died. You're wrong, Whoopi. You're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about.
Take a look.
Mr. Rosenbaum was now running from...
Oh, guys, let me see what I can know.
Or screaming, and I didn't do anything wrong. I defended myself.
Oh, baloney.
There goes Joy. There goes Joy with her loud ass mouth. Ooh, I don't believe in domestic violence, but boy, her husband should smack her once or twice. She should really get smacked in the mouth. I'm serious. Her husband or her girlfriend or whatever, somebody needs to smack her. Oh my God, she's so grating. So I got to find this shit on YouTube. Now, keep in mind, I will tell you this. I've been paying close attention to the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. It's almost over. I'm going to switch over to the Ahmaud Arbery trial, see what's going on there. I'm a big trial fan, but I know what happened in the trial because I actually watched it.
What did you think of the testimony? Well, I know what you thought, Joy, but what the rest of you?
Well, he goes across, I mean, from what I'm gleaning from this case, the guy goes across state lines with an AR-15 with his...
That is a lie. Now, keep in mind, his father lived in Kenosha. So he split time between his mother and his father. He actually worked in Kenosha. He's actually enrolled at Kenosha.
And some other idiot in the car to defend himself against what?
He never took a gun across state lines. He wasn't legally allowed to have one in Illinois, but then again, who is? So he bought one in Wisconsin.
What? They're having a protest in another state, and he takes it upon himself to go there. You know, and then he says it's self-defense. No, and that
actually it is self-defense. It is legally self-defense. He was attacked by 3 all of them, violent criminals. Rosenbaum, repeat child sex offender. The other guy was a violent felon. And I think they said on here, I'm not really sure. It might've been on another video I watched, but I'm gonna catch him in a lie. Because what he's talking about, I know what you have to be able to do. They're not asking, why did a violent felon have a gun? Sorry, this little pop-up is ignoring me or annoying me. Why did the violent felon have a gun? Why was a child sex predator out on the streets? Why are all these violent criminals walking the streets? The most important question is, why are there always violent felons and Black Lives Matter rallies? You know, Miss Helen Green, loved her like a mother, older Black lady, passed away a few years ago. She used to always tell me, she'd say, son, you show me your friends and I'll show you you. That's all I got to say about Black Lives Matter. They're probably out raping
Acting
kids.
job of the client.
And I'm gonna do exactly to Joy Behar and Whoopi and all these ladies what they do to Trump supporters. Joy Behar, you're a child rapist. You're supporting a child rapist. That makes you a child rapist. Whoopi Goldberg, you're a child rapist. You're supporting child rapists. That makes you a child rapist. Sonny, you're an idiot. You're stupid. To be such a smart woman, you are just stupid.
I can't even look at it.
Well, this is the,
That's the problem. You didn't look at it, dumbass.
Worst acting job I've ever seen.
well, this is the problem with self-deputizing regular citizens. If you want,
That's the whole point of a militia, now, isn't it? So Black Lives Matter is okay to burn down cities, but don't let the regular citizen do anything, because these shrews will hang you out in the court of public opinion. Now watch. Joy just said something and I hope you caught it. I called it out. Now watch what happens. This is how I know they're just pushing a narrative. They're lying. They are lying. They want division. They want strife. They want us out there in the streets killing themselves so they can get ratings, so they can push their liberal narrative, so they can push their liberal politicians and destroy our beloved country.
want to defend something, or you need to be trained and you need to go be in law enforcement, or you need to be in the military. It is not up to the average citizen to take it upon themselves to arm themselves with an AR-15 of all.
Actually, it is upon the average citizen. See, here's the problem, right? It is actually upon the average citizen. They keep saying, well, if you want to have an AR-15 or your Second Amendment rights, you have to be in a militia. And then this dummy, I don't even know who the hell she is. Who's this? Is she new? Who the fuck is this? So she comes back and says, well, it's not upon the average citizen. It's like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. It is upon the average citizen to defend property and the lives of others. Now, keep in mind, in Kenosha, in one of those buildings they burned down, they found a dead body. They found a dead body that had been burnt to a crisp. They don't care. She's a child rapist too, because she supports child rapists like Rosenbaum.
All weapons and go somewhere where you know there is a lot of people and there's stuff going on that's not going to end well. It's the same reason why when we look at Texas and these abortion laws and everything, I do not right now in this day and age.
What does Texas abortion law have to do with anything? You don't live in Texas. You live in that piss ant state, California. Or is it New York? Where's the state? Is it California, New York? Somebody tell me. I'm never going to either one, so it really doesn't matter to me.
Trust my fellow citizen to arm up and decide what I'm doing.
It doesn't matter what you trust me with. It's my right. It is my God-given right. Now, never mind that the person who was going to shoot Kyle Rittenhouse in the face and who admitted that Kyle did not shoot or did not point his gun and shoot until he pointed his gun at him is a convicted felon. He should have never had that gun. That right was stripped from him legally.
Right or wrong. Do not empower people that way.
See, that's the left's mentality. They will always fall back to that. They will always fall back to that. They don't want you having rights. They don't want you armed. You know why they don't want you armed? So they can do to average US citizens exactly what New York is doing, exactly what Illinois does, or at least Chicago. Now they've stripped you of your guns. Now they can do anything they want to you. Get your ass back in there and put your mask on and go get your vaccine, or you don't come outside. We have all the guns. I hate people like this. I really, truly hate them. Just get my blood pressure up. Go find me some little Cinepro.
There's two cases.
And this one was always talking like she's got marbles in her mouth. She looks like I don't know. Look at that forehead.
Going on.
Jesus.
The Rittenhouse case and the Ahmaud Arbery case where
See, now they bring the Ahmaud Arbery case into it too, right? But let's suppose there were 3 men in that one too, right? Both of them, all three, all six of them just happen to be white men, right? Now, suppose Ahmaud Arbery was armed and it turned around and shot all three men. Would they still be saying this? No, because it doesn't fit their narrative. Look, there are kids in Chicago, there are kids on these LA streets, there are kids in Houston, Austin, Dallas, Seattle, Black kids being killed every day, but that by Black men. But that doesn't fit their narrative, so they never say anything about it. And look at her. Look at what the hell is wrong with these people?
Regular citizens, private citizens took it upon themselves to act like vigilantes, the ones that, and people ended up dead. Look,
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop making fun of Anna Navarro because I feel bad now. I do. Dan doesn't make fun of the handicap, and her jaws are so big. Watch when she talks that she can barely move her lips. So I'm sorry.
Kyle Rittenhouse has become a hero to the right. I think that there's a lot of people who had a visceral reaction seeing him testify, and obviously they put him on the stand to emote and to
Why wouldn't you?
do this. And I think people have had a reaction about this because he hasn't shown that level of remorse in public about the killings. But look,
I would have had no remorse. I'm sorry. It wouldn't have got that. Well, it might have got that far. But if you raise your gun at me to point, well, one of us is going to a casket.
just one thing I want to say. There was a 12-year-old Black kid named Tamir Rice.
Now, you see how they always they'll bring in the Black example because they really have no case and they know they have no case. They know they have nothing to stand on. They know they are lying. So they try to switch the narrative on you people. Don't fall for that. These are two completely different cases. Each court case is taken on its own merit. I'm not going to stand trial for anything and judge can say, well, some guy over in California did this and, he got sentenced. So I'm gonna sentence you too, regardless of what the facts are in the case. So disingenuous, such lying hog bitches.
Who got shot and killed because he had a toy gun. And so I think a lot of people are looking at this case and wondering how it is possible that a 17-year-old can be roaming the streets with an AR.
Right.
How is it a convicted felon, child sex predator, and I guess 20, 30 armed Black Lives Matter people can burn down a city for days? Where's your coverage? People are trash.
15 and be handed water.
Yeah. Well, I'm keeping my lips closed.
So I
You probably should from now on.
Have to correct something.
And Joy has to correct
The
something.
mother was not in the car with him.
The mother was not in the
Yeah.
car.
He drove himself, yes.
Yeah,
Right. Okay.
but she said I couldn't be prouder of him. She's a real beauty.
Yes, she
So
did.
Did she say that to the parents of the two gentlemen he killed?
She should. And it wasn't two, it was only one.
no, I don't think so.
So we were talking about yesterday's testimony of
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Kyle may actually, see what they just did when Joy comes on and says, oh, I got to make a correction. That's because producers got in her ear and told her that's a lie, that's libelous. It's already come out at trial that his mother did not drive him across state lines with a gun. She goes, well, yeah, the mother wasn't there, but she didn't correct far enough. First couple of times I watched this video, I didn't catch that part. Now I'm catching it. So even though they did a little correction, because understand if they didn't, Kyle could sue. They didn't make a clear correction. He didn't cross the state line with a gun. He drove himself there, but the gun never went into, I want to say Illinois. I think it was Illinois, whatever borders Wisconsin. I don't concern myself with the North too much. Well, I like some states in the North, but definitely not New York. Kind of iffy on Maine, but because I don't like seafood. But they didn't correct enough, I don't think. So I'm wondering now if he can sue him. If anybody knows anything more about law than I do, because it's pretty much all of y'all. Somebody, you guys weigh in on your opinion. Do you think he has a civil suit here against The View? Against whatever God freaking channel it's on? Maybe against Joy Reid herself or Joy Behar herself. I hate Joy Reid too.
the Kyle Rittenhouse trial? Sonny, I think you had something to say.
Well, I just think that
Now, I want you to watch something. Now, keep in mind, Sonny is a federal prosecutor and an attorney. She knows what they're saying is lies. Now, one of the things, having worked in the fields I've worked in, bail enforcement and all that, is you learn to listen, and you could tell when a person's lying to you. You could tell when they're trying to make up the truth. They're trying to make up the lie and piece it together to where it sounds even. So watch her. She's going to be several times throughout her speech. Clear sign. She's lying. She knows she's lying, but she doesn't want to get hit with a lie of this case. So watch what she actually says.
that the outcome of this case will be a bellwether of where we are in this country, right? Because these protests happened right after George Floyd's murder.
Might I add, George Floyd was a convicted criminal, put a gun to a pregnant woman's belly. So, by association, she's supporting George Floyd. Hey, birds of a feather, right? I can't trust Sonny Hoist. I can't give up my guns. I can't trust her. I can't trust her. She might mug me. I don't know what she has. She might have an illegal gun for all I know. I don't know what she does after work. She could be out mugging people in the streets of New York. Probably loaded up on meth right now. Now, the George Floyd thing, if I watched the George Floyd case, if what his girlfriend said was indeed true, kind of felt a little sorry for him because he was an armed security guard with the cop that actually they're showing. And I know to be an armed security guard, you have to pass a background check. So apparently he wasn't really a criminal up until she said they got T-boned, had a bad car wreck. They both were on opioids, which hundreds of doctors should be in prison for today for prescribing that shit, knowing what it does. That led to their meth use, and it was downhill from there. So, opioids, man. A scourge on the Black community, but they're not talking about that.
Murder.
Because they go to parties with doctors. Yeah.
A couple of days after, because Jacob Blake was shot 7 times by a white police officer, and that was why people were out.
Now, you notice they went right to, see what they're doing? I've showed this to you several times, and they always do it. Every liberal you'll ever know is going to do it. They'll go over to something else. Oh, Jacob Blake. No, talk about the facts of this case.
Out protesting. And, we know that there was conviction in the George Floyd case.
Mhm.
We know that just recently the Capitol rioter was sentenced, I think, to 3 years.
Meanwhile, the climate terrorist who took over the Department of the Interior, no problem. Not even a mention on the news. Don Lemon didn't mention it. Joy Reid didn't mention it. These cucks sure didn't mention it. But that's enough of this today. I just wanted to give an overall view of how they're treating this. Put up another video. Apparently there's been threats against jurors in the Rittenhouse trial. I actually have some advice as a self-defense instructor, firearms instructor for those people. So I'm going to be posting that here in a few minutes. So these videos will also be on Rumble. I decided not to split the videos. I'm just going to put both videos up on the same thing. So, but as always, like, subscribe, share, especially in these days and times with idiots like this out there running around. Make sure you do what you have